So here we are. Hi everybody. So I'm here with this handy dandy tier maker, and we're going to be doing a little charting tonight. Now, I broke it up into 4 different categories. We're gonna I'll explain a little bit more when we get into it. But here's how it's gonna work out, and here's how I hope it will go. First off, I want to say Fic of the Night is going to be Not a Carbon Copy by Mids Dare. It's a cute little fic. It's appropriately for tonight, it's a Roxas Kyrie fic. I didn't know what I was getting into when I first read it, but it's a nice little story. They're going world exploring and enjoying each other's company, and it's really cute. So highly recommend it. It's very sweet. Not too intense, not too crazy, but very cute. So, here's what we're doing tonight. So we got here our rubric, our matrix. So we got Canon on top, Fanon on the bottom, left's gonna be fluffy, right's gonna be toxic. So the goal tonight isn't to do any type of maneuvering or bases. There's no better thans, there's no who's worse. We're just going off of what can we see, what can we interpret, and how do we feel. And I'm gonna need your guys' help to do this. So how it's gonna work is we're gonna have this wonderful list. Now, from the descriptors deal, it says this is based on the top 50 couplings on AO3 back in 2020, which a lot of people did a writing for. So, we're going to go through this list together, and you're going to help me decide. Is there some Canon bases? If there is, we're going to put it up high on Canon. If it's more Fanon, if it's more, I don't know, we might be reaching here, going to go on the bottom on Fanon. On the left, we're going to do Fluffy, we're going to be nice and sweet, the couple's going to be really cute together. On the right, oh man, they should not be together, it's going to be a bad time. So, if we're all ready to go, I'm ready to go, let's get going. So, first one off the bat here, we have Roxas and Nominee. So, how are we all feeling about these two? There's some Canon bases, they're the nobodies of both Sora and Kyrie. They have that mental connection that was highlighted a little bit in KH2. They spend a lot of the pre-game, the tutorial, kind of being around each other, talking to each other a little bit. Nominee's really concerned over Roxas' well-being, and she even looks out for him a little bit, trying to convince him that, you can do your own thing, you can be your own person, So, how do we feel about it? Is it going to be, are we feeling like it's a little bit Canon? Are we feeling like it's going to be a little bit more Fanon? How do we feel? Feel free to start jotting away. Give me essays. I'll read them out loud. Canon 100%. 100% Canon, says Nira. Fluffy leaning, I think. Okay. Alright, 100% Canon. So, with the 100% Canon, that means we're going to go up here. We're at the tip top. It ain't getting any higher. Any higher. Any other suggestions? Rox and Nami def had some Canon stuff going on in KSU, but I feel like they dropped it since Xeon happened. But they're cute. I agree. I def go Fluffy, though. So, we're going to go here. So, Rox is a bit aloof, dare I say. He's a bit of I don't know what's going on, He's just kind of going with the flow. Nowadays, much more adept and much more understanding of the situation. So, I think there's a lot for Roxas to learn. Plus, he's a little baby. He's only a year old, He doesn't know a lot. And Nominee seems a lot more wise in that regard. I think she has had a lot more stacked against her. You know what I mean? So, 100% Canon. That's pretty solid, I think if there were to be a couple, they'd be the most natural, selection, I believe. One of them, at least. So, let's go a little bit Fluffy. We can move them around as we see fit. But we'll go, half Fluffy. Rox is a bit rough around the edges, but Nominee is also very sweet. I think she can make up the difference. All right, so we know how this is working now, right? We understand it. We're happy with that. Sweet. I'm dealing with it. I'm rocking it. So next up, we have Riku and Vanitas. Oh my god. Fanon 100%, right? There's no way. They don't share, I think, a conversation, right? there's no point where they're interacting, right? There's not a sentence, there's not a look. Toxic, Canon, 100%. What are you talking about? 0 screen time shared, absolutely. This might be our first, just boom, right there in that corner. Vanitas looks like Sora, so that's a little weird. He's darkness. Riku has a weird relationship with darkness. It's a whole thing, you know? It has potential. Nira, okay, it has potential. Break it down. Death has angst potential. Oh yeah, absolutely. The angst is totally there. I could see it being like a weird, like, oh, he's trying to better himself and he's trying to better himself. Like Riku could show Vanitas like, oh, the potential of being someone who has a lot of darkness and then like adapting to it and engaging with it and working with it. So I could definitely see Riku kind of seeing a little bit of himself in Vanitas. So there's definitely some potential there, 100%. But yeah, so we got that going. Next one up. I feel like we're pretty standard though on it being super toxic and it being Fanon, right? There's no debate. Benny is being intrigued by Riku's dark past and has some of Sora's influence. He's like, oh, you want to go back to darkness so bad. And Riku's absolutely swayed because of the latent feelings for Sora. Boom, yeah. Especially if it's like in the perspective of Riku's Sora's history. Also, Riku helping Vanitas is juicy. Dude, the Vanitas redemption through Riku would be great. Oh, nah, no debating that. Totally toxic. Totally toxic. Alright. We're agreeing on that. We can always come back. We can always roll back and go, you know what? Let's debate that one more time. Next up, we have Riku and Xion. Now, this one's a little interesting, I think. There's a lot of angst going on here. Xion has a lot of, latent, like, feelings about being a replica, trying to figure out who she is and why she's here. Riku is also in that, if we're going, like, off of days, he's really, like, leaning into his darkness right now. This one is deaf not for me, but probably because I'm not a big Xion fan. Respect. Gasp. There's some drama in the chat. I think, drama in the chat, I love Xion. Xion's great. She's a good character. But the handheld, Peony, we fighting. Oh man, we fighting. Them's fighting words. Let me get some benders in the chat. We're about to pop off really quick. Benders in the chat. We're about to fight. How are we feeling about it? I don't hate her. I promise. Peony, you have to defend yourself. Oh. Hey! All right. Thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thank you. Nira has decided to join me in the mind. Let's go digging for plot holes. Let's go. All right. So, I think those were the war horns. She's ready to fight. All right. I'm going to go because like the relationship between those two was very like there was an objective. Riku wanted her to come back to Sora. That's a whole deal. I feel like he was very much like using her to try to get him back. There's not like a lot of love for her on his side from what I've seen. But that could also switch up. She's made up of Kairi's memories of Sora. Toxic for sure. Toxic. Alright, we're leaning on the down. But that depends on how far on toxic are we going. Are we going toxic with some Fanon, or is there some Canon to it? I think there's an argument to be made for Canon. They share a couple of interactions. They're important interactions. They really shape up Xion's endgame for days, It really sets her up to make that big jump into sacrifice and to fight Roxas, All of Riku being there and like going, hey man, it's time for you to go out like a champ, Go out with your replica heels out. I think it's an argument for Ken for sure, but slightly below Fanon? I'd say toxic mainly because of everything in Days. Correct. Drink a little bit of my Yeti. Today's sponsor is water. Straight from the tap. Slightly below Fanon. I believe that's fine. I think we... okay. Below Fanon, because what we do get, we have to stretch. You know what I mean? We really have to fight for it. I think that's fair. If we have to fight for it, it's a bit of a stretch. So, how are we feeling on this? Days is a minefield, Nira. I see some of these people down here, and we are gonna be fighting, to see what we can make out of this. Okay, so I feel like we're good right here. How are we all feeling? Good? Bad? Because I'm moving on. And oh Lord, are you ready? Because we have Riku and some SOD. Let's not pretend. It's super toxic. Super toxic. But what level is it gonna be? Because, listen, toxic boys, dude, Ansem is like the worst nuclear. Oh, if I could go off the map, I would. Now, everyone hold on. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. He's obsessed with Riku. He's totally obsessed. It's borderline, stalking. He's in the weeds. It's like the Robin with the Slade from Teen Titans, where he gets so wrapped up in his hatred for Slade, he's dead, but he's still dreaming him up, And SOD, he's dead. He is dead by KH1, and he's still rocking Riku's psyche through days, through Calm, into K. He wears his skin. He wears his skin in KH2. And he likes it a little bit. He can engage in the darkness. He can do... Dude, that's his mask. That's his mask to do what he wants without... They're so codependent. 100% they're codependent. And that little conversation at the end when SOD is like, hey, I'm dying. I'm so glad about how far you've come. And Riku is begrudgingly respecting it. What? This man who literally, took over your body and made you ride shotgun in your own mind, and you're like, dude, you know what? Fucking, we made it. We got here. That made me emotional, not gonna lie. It was emotional. It's, God, the Rocky story, the crazy path they went on together, it's wild. But I respect the hustle. There's also the darker aspects. You have the grooming, you have the mind manipulation, the literal taking over of bodies. But yeah, I'm rocking this spot. I don't know about y'all. Do y'all agree? I think this is where it should be. It's definitely leaning on Ansem's side, 100%. But there's def agree. Yes. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing here. Marcy's making food. Oh God, I hope she's making something good. All right. Next up to bat, Riku and Roxas. How are we feeling about those two? Oh, yes! Nira's a fan. Toxic. Peony says toxic. Nira, is it toxic? Are we leaning that way? I love the toxic ships. I must agree. It's very toxic. Roxas has barely any memories. Riku has his relationship with Sora. Roxas is kind of like Sora, but also kind of not. He's more malleable, through KH1, where Riku and Sora's connection really starts to get shown and described on screen. We really see how they interact with each other, and Roxas having that adorable small Sora that Riku knew on the island, and then having that kind of stay. That can be some potential for some real toxic shit. You know, you have some real negative energy of him seeing that and going, okay, like this is like prime Sora. How can I work with this? But Riku's also not his best self right now. He's leaning in the darkness. He's wearing the coat. He has the blindfold on. Cool as hell. Not denying it. But kind of toxic. Potential of falling for the person you need to eliminate to bring your best friend back? The conflict. The guilt. The callback he does when he gets... Get real. Get real. Look which one of us is winning. Ah. Which one of them is winning? It was Roxas. And then that callback. Oh, man. Okay. You know what, Nira? You got me a little bit. Let's go. Let's go fairly canon, fairly toxic. No, wait. There we go. Fairly toxic. Fairly canon, fairly toxic. Yeah. You're an agent of chaos, and I am down for it. I'm here for it. We're getting some good discussions here. We're making a map. We're making a roadmap of how we all feel. So, next, okay, Riku going after Roxas and finding out he's not silly happy Sora, he's all of Sora's pouting and sass. That's an excellent point. Maybe that's the initial thought, because if he's like, because the Nobis are born kind of plain, you know, they're like the saltine crackers of people when they first come out the shell. So he sees that and goes, oh, okay, this can be what's up. And then when Roxas comes in, he's like, oh no, he's not like that at all. And there's like that complication and that like back and forth of like he's kind of like Sora, but he's also kind of not. But my Sora's not like Sora right now either. And the drama of it all. Okay, here we go. Now this one's gonna get a lot of claps. Riku and Namine. I say fairly canon. Canon fluffy. I agree. Definitely fluffy. Okay, so canon fluff. Yeah, 100%. Canon and fluffy. How canon, they spend some time together during days. And he talks to her during calm. And he's there to pick her up at the end of 3. So I would say that's fairly fluffy. Riku definitely has like a soft spot for her. 100%. You know? And Namine, she's kind of there. She's kind of like a confidant. She talks him through it. She's supportive of him. And she really kind of guides his way when he's kind of lost at sea right now. Not 100% canon, but there's definitely a spark. You know what? You're right. Let's put him in the middle. I feel like the ending feels more canon than Roxas and Nam. Yes, Nira. That, you know what? Let's flip them. So, boom. Boom. Like, how that feels right? That feels better to me. Yeah, there we go. I feel like Roxas and Namine rock that center piece between kind of canon, kind of fluffy very well, and Riku and Namine is that, like, natural, like, incline up the hill. You know what I mean? Like, if that's going to be canon, this is super canon. You know what I mean? Even if we're, like, I mean, Kingdom Hearts is not the series to, like, engage in the romantic stuff. That's why we gotta step up. You know what I mean? That's why we're here. So, because the game actually remembered Riku and Namine knew each other, whereas they totally forget each other, that the whole, so we can be together again, Namine said to Roxas. That's true. Wait. Okay, so the Destiny trio, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and Namine and Axel. And then the Twilight Town crew. Those are the people who've known each other the longest in the series. You know what I mean? So there's definitely like an argument to be made that like they've known each other. Some of the like Riku's new Namine probably one of the longest in the series. Because you have the indeterminate amount of time for KH1. About a month into Calm/Days is when Riku meets Namine. And then they have from that all the way till the start of KH2, which is like almost a year. They spend a whole year together. They do spend a whole year together, basically. They spend a lot of time together. Whereas, like, Riku and Sora have, like, the off-screen 10-ish years they've been best friends. And then they have a falling out, which is all through KH1. So, like, he's had the most positive relationship with Namine, I think. For sure. I think so, yeah. They do spend a whole lot of time together. Oh, man. Okay. I feel like we're pretty good. I feel like this is solid. I think we're ready to move on. Riku and Kairi. Okay, oof, and we got a lot of feelings on this one. You know what? That I feel like we're all on the same page here. We're all on the same page here. We are told a lot, but we're not shown anything. Some toxicity. Okay, I'm gonna be bold. I'm gonna be bold. Okay, I will put myself out here. I like this boldness. They share maybe a couple of conversations together, but none of it's like conducive to like a friendship. They're there, but I'm never at any point I'm like, oh, those two are buddies. I think someone said it best. I think I was watching the Riku is gay video, and Riku and Kairi, their friend is Sora, and they're kind of like that's their. It's not a triangle; it's a V. You know what I mean? Without Sora, they're cool, but they're not like besties. I think Riku and Cage was mostly enamored with Kairi for his want to lead the island. She absolutely does not reciprocate. You can totally tell she feels awkward. You can totally tell. Dude, she was ready to leave his ass on the dock. Second day. She was like, "Oh, you built most of our raft? You're done. Your job is over. You're staying on this island. 100%." Even though I'm putting Riki in my pick, I would agree with the fair pairing versus romantic pairing. Dude, I agree. Like, Rikai, I mean, there's potential. They just need to be more fleshed out, 100%. They do need to be more fleshed out. Also, if it was on here, Akira and Sora close to the top. Canon, Fluffy. I'm a fan. Big fan. Just throwing it out there. Yeah! So, I'm Toxic Fanon. I don't buy their... I barely buy their friends. I can't even buy them as being even close to being romantic. And even if they are, it's a little toxic. It's a little toxic. Just throwing it out there. Okay. We might have to do a little bit switching around. Repliku and Vanitas. We might have to switch out for. Oh. They are so if like Vanitas is fucking gas, Repliku is like fire. You know what I mean? They're bad for each other, but once they meet, it's just radioactive. 100%. They are their worst enemies and their best friends. You know what I mean? 100% Fanon. They don't even share a convo, but the toxicity they feed off. 100. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're hyping each other up. Like they start out being mad, and by the time they're done talking about it, they're burning someone's house down. You know what I mean? They've hyped each other so much, they have to act on it. These are super toxic. Okay, I'm gonna, for the sake of simplicity, Riku and Vanitas are like very, very close. They are each other's worst cheerleader, 100%. Both Vanitas parent in the same corner. Vanitas is. There's a few more down here. He's here a couple more times, but that boy's getting put in the corner. You know, no one puts Baby in the corner. Everyone puts Vanitas in the corner. Everyone puts Vanitas in the corner. Okay. Naminé and Repliku. Put him in timeout. Dude, Vanitas doesn't need to be put in timeout. Vanitas needs to get red carded. He needs to get out of the game. He needs to be donezo. Fluffy and toxic. It's such a back and forth because Naminé is super sweet and Repliku is like the worst of Riku put on 100%. Um, but like, okay, I think this might. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling smack dab in the middle of this one. Here's what I'm thinking, right here, and it works because they're on the same side. That's good. Super Canon, he's obsessed with her, and the relationship is like it's in the game. He is enamored with her. He wants to be her knight in shining armor. He wants to be the one who saves her. And she's like, you're made to just destroy things and to be evil. And I'm sorry that I did this to you. And he's like, but nah, I'm me though. He was wired to be obsessed with her. And that's why it's 100% canon. That's why it's 100% canon. But I think it fits in the middle here because it has the potential to be fluffy and or toxic depending on how you view their relationship. On the one hand, he could be rewired to be more approachable and more in line with like his original self, or he could just stay this absolute menace to society. Because he does want to protect her, but it's not his choice. That's true. If Repliku had a choice, would he protect Naminé? I would like to say... Because Riku does. He looks out for her, at the very least. So inclined to say he would. But who knows? Are we feeling good with this one? Should I move a little bit more to the right? Is it more toxic than I think it is? Or is it a little bit more fluffy than I think it is? Yeah, probably. Probably yeah, so you could say. I think it's good where it is. Thank you, Peony. He probably would flex a little more toxic. You know what? That's fair. Let's go like right here. Right beneath. It's wearing Canon as a hat. You know? It's wearing Canon as a hat. Nomination. Okay. Look. Nira's gearing up to swing. Propaganda time. Propaganda time. Let's go. I wrote a fic. You wrote a fic? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. All right. We have a shooter on the street. Okay. Nira's out here fighting the good fight. Well, while Nira's gearing up for her defense, Peony, do you have an argument? Because if Nira wrote it and she is like going into propaganda mode, we have reason to believe. I sadly do not. you are like, all right, well, this is where we're at. I'll wait for Nira to give me her 411, and then I'll decide where we're moving from here. How's it all sounding, gang? Is it sounding good? Is the quality fine? Do you hear any other noise besides my voice? How are we all feeling? Everything sounds good? Lovely. I have to make sure. I want to make sure everything sounds fine. Okay. Alright, well, Nira's doing that. Here's where I'm at here. So, from what I can recall, Xion and Naminé have a couple of conversations together. They have the one that I think of most primarily is the one before where she goes, "Hey, Xion, so here's the plan. Here's what's gonna happen." I'm mostly neutral to Xion because I never finished Days, and she just not interests me. But I don't hate her, so I'm just giving this to Nira. Yeah, that's fair. I appreciate not digging your heels in when you feel like you're not presented with enough information. That tells me you're open to communication and hearing people out, which is great. I'm a big fan of that. Nira is gearing up to present a wonderful display. So the conversation I remember with Shion and Naminé, like when I think of them, I think of the talk before Shion decides she's going to go back to Sora, and before she gets kidnapped like for the third time. And Naminé's laying it out like, hey, so here's what's going to happen. Here's what we're doing. Like, this is the plan. And Shion is like, well, here we go. I got to do this. I want to do this. It's like they're both shadows in the main pairing. Shion, not even that. A shadow of shadow. They both share the same traumas of being used by the organization. They both struggle with being themselves. I just think there's so much good fluffy potential with them figuring out how to live life together. Damn. That's solid. That is solid, Nira. Claps. Oh, who dropped that? Next week, I'll get that link and you'll be the fic of the night next week, okay? So, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we put it a little over fluffy and maybe a little canon. They have a lot of it's connection based and a lot of it is based on like engagement with each other. And I think if we were to given that extra time, we might be able to see more potential. But there's some canon. There's some seeds that just need to be planted and to grow. That's where I'm at. I feel good with this. Peony, I appreciate your support. Peony is always good support. Peony's the best. Oh, Lord. Do we even need Vanitas and Name? Do we even need to mention? Do we need to mention this at all? This poor boy. This poor boy. I am here for this. Into the corner. Into the corner. Oh, Lord. I'm so sorry, Vanitas. I swear, you'll get your time. We just need to get to the one. We just need to get to the one. That's all. Marluxia and Naminé. Okay. Wait, Peony is cooking. Oh, she's cooking. What are you cooking with? What are you cooking, Peony? They would absolutely start out toxic. Okay. Do you think she can temper him? But I think Naminé could get through to him. Maybe. Maybe she can get through to him. Okay. So, alright, so here's where we're going. It's Fanon 100%. I don't even think they even look in the general direction of each other. They share a game, and that's all they got. But, Def Toxic. I'm saying maybe we're gonna hide him behind Canon. I think she can break through. I think she can break through. Naminé's patient. Naminé's dealt with worse, but I think she can break through. I think she can put him on a leash. You know what I mean? It's gonna be rough. If anyone could get to the Vanitas, it would be Naminé. Well, there's someone on the list here that I think could do a little bit better, but she's not coming up for a minute. Marluxia and Naminé. All right, so off the bat, right? Are we gonna argue this? No. Boo. What? Boo? Oh, okay. We fighting. Okay. What's up? What are we here for? What are we here for? Hiss. Oh my god. The ladies in the chat don't like this. What's going on? Marluxia? Are you serious? He puts her in a cage. Put him in the corner. In the corner. Oh, the hisses and boos are for bad. Get him out of here. Bam. Right? Or bam. Get this guy out of here. you have to. I can't put them all in the corner because they'll be hidden. But no, spiritually he's in the corner. You have to fight me tooth and nail to convince me that these two can be a pair and these two can make it work. Slugger out of this park. Okay. Now this one's gonna get a little strange. Everyone, you ready? A little stranger. Nominating Kyrie. But thank you. Man, it's strange because they're kind of the same person. You know what I mean? This is like the equivalent of like kissing your own hand. You know what I mean? Like, what do we do here? I feel like they held hands that one time, but after that, I feel like I put it somewhere in the middle. I don't think it's the middle though. You know what I mean? Oh, you think it's the middle? Like it's just nothing? Do you think it's just nothing? Maybe move a little bit on the can line. They do hold hands. They did hold hands. That implies physical touch doesn't repulse them. So, but they are the same person. And then after that, she never thinks of her again. Does Kyrie mention Naminé at all? If she cares? Because she wasn't made to forget. Yes, I'd say that's good there. I agree. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this one, personally. I think it's just R.I.P. Nam, you deserve better. Nam did deserve better. All right, ladies. Marluxia and Vexen. Post KH2, barely anyone mentions Naminé, and it's a shame. It's a damn shame no one mentions her. Because people remember her. Okay, this. They spend a lot of time in that castle together. A bit of sailors at sea situation, you know what I mean? We don't know what's happening in that castle. But they're also both super evil. Hella toxic. I agree. Hella toxic. But to what degree is it canon? Here's the deal, though. We have a coworker and boss situation. Vexen is directly under Marluxia. Probably in more ways than one. There's definitely some workplace violations here. They're definitely getting a call from HR. And I think HR is nominated because she's not technically a part of the organization. I think Vexen hates this man, and Marluxia could kind of care less. Toxic. Fanon toxic? Alright, we're going to go... you know what? I say smack dab here. I think they're definitely toxic for each other. But I feel like they have a working relationship, which I can say more than this fuckery corner over here. They can definitely, like, go out to dinner together. You know what I mean? And, like, not make a scene. The shame corner. This is the shame corner, for sure. Fanon toxic, for sure. This is, yeah. I agree. Shame corner. Alright. Marluxia and Larxene. Shame corner? Are we going... Okay, I love them. You know what? They're besties. They have each other's backs. They're ride or die, 100%. 100% they're ride or die. It's 2-on-11, and they were ready to throw hands, 100%. I agree. They're going down. But is it fluffy? Ride or die. Is it fluffy, though? You know they love each other. I know they do. I don't think the fans are ready to talk about that, though. Like in a Mean Girls way. You know what? That's fair. I think if they were to be mean to each other, it'd be in like a fun, catty, like dig way, as opposed to like being like really mean. You know what I mean? Like they would burn each other, but then they would like laugh about it. I'm not gonna apologize. Yeah, everyone else is looking in is like, what's wrong with them? Dude, what's wrong with them is they're living their best lives. They're having a great time. 100% Nira. All right, man. I wish Andy was here. Lushu and the Master of Masters. I think that's what the cloak's supposed to be. Lushu / Ligbar. Master of Masters. Toxic. Britney Spears. I think the line here, right? I think the line here is good because we don't know really much about them, right? We don't know much about them to make the assumptions between Canon and Fanon yet. You know what I mean? We know there's a history, but we don't know what the history is yet, or how it could be interpreted. But we just know it's toxic. We just know it's bad news. It's kind of like when you look at a snake for the first time and you're like, oh, that could bite me and it could be toxic. You don't know if it is, but you know for sure you should be bitten. That's how this relationship feels like. It feels like a snake. But I like snakes, so that's where we're at. We just know it's toxic. Okay. This one, Luxord and Zaldin is apparently a top pairing. I don't know if I've even seen them share a room outside of the conversation in KH2. I don't even think they're friends. I know. This one doesn't do it for me, Chief. It doesn't do it for anything for you either. I don't get it. I don't get... The other ones, at least so far, I can see the connections, whether, like, personality or canon-wise. Do they even say... I think they talk to each other. I think in the chair scene in 2, they share a conversation, a back and forth, and it's one word. Or 2. I think Zaldin says something shitty, and Luxord is like, stop that. It's very brief. I think this is our middle ground. What can you even do with it? The middle ground, I think, is like milquetoast. Like, we don't even know what we're supposed to feel. 100%. This feels right. I mean, if you're a fan of this pairing, obviously it's in the top 50, so something's happened. I got nothing, though. I can't even tell you. I mean, one has cards, and the other one has mutton chops. Where's Zaldin and Beast on this thing? They're a better pairing than these two. The fuck, dog? Okay. We have Lexius or Alias, Ienzo, and Zexion. Alright. Okay. No. We got a big no from Peony. It's just rocking the line because our middle ground is taken up by the nothing sandwich that is Luxord and Zaldin. So I'm not putting it over here because I think it's fluffy. But I could just put it right over them. How do we feel? Nah? Alright. We're closer to canon than we think. They spend a lot of time together. Lexius is like Zexion's buddy. They're hanging out. They're buddies. They're in the basement. They got each other's backs. They say each other's names, which is more than we can say for most of the people on this list. But is it toxic or is it fluffy? That's the question. How are we feeling about it? I hear a lot of no's. We're not ranking if they're good. We're not ranking if these pairings are good. We're ranking them on canon, fanon, toxic, fluffy. They're friends together, but Ienzo's like a baby. True. Like, Lexius is like, let's be like very like fucking broad with this. He's like maybe 16 in BBS, and Zexion's like 8. 10 years plus 2 years. Lexi's like this retired babysitter. Yeah, that's true. I don't agree with it, but it's definitely canon. It's definitely canon basis. I can't argue it. Canon middle of the line feels fair. I think it'd just be a typical relationship. I feel like it wouldn't be good nor bad. It would just be there. I feel like that's the best. I think that's the best mode forward. It's a babysitter and the kid, and that's weird. All right, Vanitas and Kyrie. Vanitas and Kyrie. Where are we at with this? Is the Venus, is the shame corner Venita's corner? Because we need to get our boy out of there. Because you have a being of pure darkness and a princess of light, a princess of heart. No light, all darkness. Don't put this in full toxic. I'm here for the conversation. I think we have potential. We have potential here. This could do. Hey, this is gonna do some numbers. All right, I'm gonna throw something out. I think she can reach him. I think she can reach him more than Naminé can. Naminé's a bit more reserved and a bit more like pulled back, whereas Kairi at least has a lot more firmness, a lot more personality. Like if Vanitas acts up, she's gonna shut that shit down, no question. She's light, he's dark. There's like that compatibility, which is like the fucking makeup of Kingdom Hearts. I think she can bring him. If Naminé can like grab him and keep him on the cliff, Kairi can lift him up, and they're on land, right? He's not hanging by a thread anymore. I think she can pull him out, but that's just me. Definitely more on the Fanon side, but I definitely feel like there's more of a connection that could be made and more of a conversation to be had. Do we all agree? I get a big yeah from Nira. I'm cool with that. Peony, what you say? Agree. Also, question, are my takes hot? Are they ice cold? How are we feeling? I feel like we're on pretty much a good agreement here. No big arguments yet. Okay. We all ready for the next one? Olette and Kairi. I think we're a lukewarm glass of water right now. I mean, we're inclined towards Nami on this one, but yeah, since Kairi's so close to Sora, that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking. Like, Kairi can, like, see Sora if he just gave into his worst inhibitions. And she can, like, connect with him more, whereas Riku would have, like, a more difficult time measuring that. But we're on Olette and we're on Kairi now. They hang out. In KH2, they hang out. When she gets dropped off at Pluto. So that's something. Canon Fluffy. Yeah, that feels fine. Does the manga count? Dude, any argument you can make, I say go for it. As long as it's not strictly like fan made, you know? I say go for it, you know? We're going with that. Like canon, manga, and the light novels. Why not? Throw them all out there. Olette breaks out a baseball bat protect. Okay. You know what? This feels fair. It's a bit higher on the ranking. It's not quite as fluffy as full fluff. Okay, let's go. I say here, there's a lot of potential. They do hang out, and all their interactions have been positive. There's no reason to believe they would start to be negative. You know what I mean? All their interactions have been positive. Plus, going back to the games, Olette's like right there with her, protecting her and talking to her. And they all have ice cream together, if I remember correctly. Yeah, maybe move back down a tad, bit on tab, but back. Move down back a tab on the Canon, but yes. All right, let's put them like right below Roxas and Nami. There's a lot more basis for them, but I feel like this feels more in line with how they're supposed to be. I want to make sure we can still see everybody. It's gonna get packed pretty soon. But I think we're doing good. We're a lukewarm water on the table right now. But I agree with our standing so far. Okay. Hayner and Olette. I feel like they have a better relationship. They're definitely friendlier. Toxic. Toxic? Really? Are you just trying to stir the coals here? I don't think. I mean, he kind of just leaves her behind. I mean, also we only have like the Twilight Town from KH2 tutorial, but they're co-workers in 3. We just saw them doing like a whole putting up labels and like putting up signs for Scrooge. I feel like they're just buddies, but I feel like they kind of fit right here. Like they're definitely more canon. I'm based on interaction. They're deaf friends, but Hayner annoys her. Dude, Hayner's hella annoying. I can just tell by looking at the dude. He has some bad opinions and he has some bad jokes, but he's also like nicer than Cypher and Rye, who only knows 2 words. You know. They're definitely. I think they kind of smack dab right here. They're more canon than like Kyrie and Olette, you know, and they're less canon than Roxas and Naminé. I feel like that feels pretty good. I feel like their relationship would be fine. Hayner would annoy her a lot, but they're already friends. You know? Alright, now I'm gonna need some help with this one. I don't know jack about Union Cross or these are the only 2. These are the only 2. I don't know anything about them. Luckily, people wrote about them because they're in the top 50 back in 2020. Do you guys know who these 2 are? I have nothing on this. I have no dog in this fight. Nira, you're super into the lore with that. I'm gonna need you to help me through this one. Cause I don't know. I don't know if it's toxic. I don't know if it's fluffy. I don't know if it's cool. I don't know if it's Fanon. So you need to guide the ship on this one. Literally. It looks like it's the cat, and I know for sure that one's like the rabbit, I think. Semi-cam and fluffy. I'll take it. So, would you say, like, right, is that Gula and Ava? Maybe, like, right here? Does that feel fair? That feel fair? Is that too canon? Is that too fluffy? Ava is a fox. Oh, that's a fox. And Gula is a leopard. Oh. I was way off the mark. More like right here? Between Kyrie and Naminé? Or like even less? It seems like you're not too convinced. I'm going to be so honest, I'm not an expert on back cover. Let's leave it right here. If you say semi-canon, semi-fluff, I'll give you that one. All right. Aqua and Vanitas. Okay. Listen. My girl can bring him back to the brink and then some. I think she can do it. She got that dog in her. And shame corner, but a little bit to the left. Are you serious? Dude! Oh my god, some of the best fics are these 2 being in a relationship. Aqua does have that dog in her. And listen, if he acts out of line, canon proof. She can fucking kick his ass and get him into gear. He is not stepping out of line with her. I say that with love. Oh, man. Totally Fanon. 100%. But I'm such a fan. If I could, I'd put it right here. But that's not why we're here for. Like right here. Right? I must agree with Peony. I feel like they could lean closer to Fluffy. Aqua would kill him if she could, which I'm into. I agree. She can definitely kill him. All right. They could get too fluffy eventually. Not denying that. I think there's so much potential. Limitless. But we're not here. We're here for the coulds and the maybes. You know? That's what we're here for. That's what this conversation is all about. Axel and Zexion. He sets up his assassination, right? He's dead again because of Axel. So definitely toxic, right? Whether it's Fanon or Canon, he murders them. Toxic. I agree. Toxic. Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna put them lower. Right here. That feels natural. At least like Zexion and like Marluxia can have like a working relationship. These two, dog, you gotta convince me. Okay. Axel and Sora. Axel likes Sora. They're friends. He's a little off-put, but like Axel likes Sora. Sora reminds him of Roxas. He protects him because of Roxas. Sora brings out a better side of Axel. Axel does punk him a lot in Chain of Memories, though. But he's also punking a lot of people. Axel does like Sora, but Sora, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's too much, man. I don't know. It's a lot to ask. There's that scene where Axel sacrificed himself for Sora in KH2. That's my argument. That's the basis of my line here. That's like my, okay, this self-sacrifice. Sora literally does that for Kairi. You know what I mean? But Axel's doing it for Sora, but he's really doing it for Roxas. You know? That's where we're at with that. Yeah, exactly. I feel like, yeah, that. I feel like, okay. We're definitely, okay, how about this? Hop skip. I feel like we're definitely a little more toxic. Because Axel's not really caring about Sora. He cares way more about Roxas. But to care about Roxas is to care about Sora. And there is some canon basis. I feel like it's definitely way more than Riku and... I feel like it's the same level. Maybe a little bit more, because Axel does straight up die for him. But... there's definitely some of that going on. How we feel? I feel like I might have raised it a little too high. Maybe it's the same level of like canon as like Ansem Riku? Or maybe Ansem Riku should be higher. I don't know. Because if they're the same level, I feel like this one should be higher if they're gonna be on the same level. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I got one good. Nira, how we feel? I think put them in the same level as Riku Roxas if we're gonna go that standard. Yeah, that feels fine. Comparing to their real life, to their real boyfriends. You know what? That's very true. That is very true. They're dating each other's boyfriends, 100%. All right. Axel and Shion. Fucking right? Right? Is this even an argument? Like, they're quote-unquote friends, but he really drops the ball in taking care of her through the entirety of days, right? It's not good. It's a horror... I mean... They make up by the end of 3. In Shame Corner. Shame Corner. Shame Corner, yeah. Shame Corner. You know what? Thinking about it, there's no way. He kidnaps her, they fight, he forgets her, which is not his fault, but still sucks. He's obsessed with Roxas. He doesn't care about her. He's never cared about her. To the extent of, like, they're co-workers, and they're barely that, because he doesn't even think of her as a person. Shame Corner. Alright, ladies. Axel and Sayax. These two have a history. These two have a history. Canon. 100%. Canon toxic. Are we calling it toxic? They are collaborators. You know what? I say they're a step above Marluxia and Larxene because they're playing both sides. Because Larxene and like Marluxia were going on an uphill battle, and like Sayax and Axel are directly in the middle, all sides. Everyone was gonna get licks in if it meant they got what they wanted, and they had each other's back since the beginning. Like even beyond just the KH2 introduction, but into BBS. How do you feel about that? Hella canon, no denying it. But toxic? Ugh, it's so hard. I feel like it's more toxic just because Sayax is jealousy over Roxas. You know what? That's true. We do see more Sayax than we do Issa. You know what I mean? We see more Sayax. The obsession he has over his relationship with Roxas is super telling. I think it's way worse than the Riku Ansem we got going on here. And it's way more canon. I say like right here. It's super toxic. And Axel is also using Sayax to a degree because like Sayax is in charge and he uses his relationship with Sayax to help his relationship with Roxas. So it's a really negative interaction between all of them through days. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? And they get their happy ending at the end of 3, but like, is it fleeting? Is it going to go back to old hat when Issa decides, okay, well, I'm here and so is Roxas, so what's going to happen now? I'm with it. I'm also with it. That feels fine. Super canon. Kind of toxic. Sounds good to me. Thank you, ladies. Okay. It's the boys. We're back. Okay, we're back. I don't know what happened. Something happened and it canceled everything out. I'm so sorry, gang. Okay. We are back. Okay. Before we lost connection, don't at me this is canon. Nira, I agree. Canon. To what degree is it Axel toxic or fluffy? Because I can make the argument for both. Both. Is it smack down in the middle? That feels fair. Axel does a lot of nefarious shit, but it's all in for the degree of helping and protecting Roxas. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a pit bull. He kind of fights and bites whatever gets close to him in the efforts to protect him. But it's not like he doesn't really have a filter for it. He's just there to protect. He does love Roxas. You know that. I mean, we have KH2, we have Days, we have KH3. It's all for the love of Roxas. And that's just the business. That's the biscuits. You know? That's the biscuits. So we're all in agreement. Right smack dab in the middle, but 100% canon. There's no way it isn't. Axel and Riku. Nah. I agree. I see this and I go, nah. Nah. Because, okay, they have some interactions. They're kind of positive. They're kind of negative. I gotta make an argument to one degree. He's with the organization. Riku doesn't like the organization. They're kind of enemies, but then they kind of help each other out. And 2, even a little bit, they both care about Sora, but that's not contingent on their relationship. Fuck, is this another nothing? Wait, you're white. I'm right. In the manga, they have some fun interactions. Okay. Is it fun, like, haha, we're having a good time? Or fun, like, oh, this is some interesting character stuff? Because fun, that's both fun to me. Ansem, Riku, Axel, and Dom kind of have a sideline plot going on. So character interactions, I think. So are we like here? It's a little bit more canon, a little bit more fluffy. Because are there positive interactions like negating the negative? You know what I mean? I feel like it is, because like they don't directly fight each other, right? They were kind of on the same side for a minute, and they were kind of not on the same side for a minute, but they were never like in the direct conflict with each other. So like depending on like the fact that Riku has to take rocks to save Sora, but then Axel's trying to save rocks, and they're both desperate to save that person, but still like Axel and Riku as a couple, I don't think buy it because they're already doing everything for someone else. That's very true. I agree with that. So I think they're definitely okay. How about this? Fairly Fanon, kind of fluffy. You got to stretch, and they have some fun interactions that you can build off of. But like as itself, like they have something positive, but like it's not like directly correlating like a positive relationship. In that sense. Thumbs up. Oh, true. See? Yee. Alright. Axel and Larxene. Toxic. But what to degree is it Canon or Fanon? They have some biting dialogue with one another. Toxic Canon. Agree. I say a little bit under Riku and Ansem, just because of they share a lot more screen time with each other. You know what I mean? But like the screen time they do get, Axel flirts with him hardcore, and Axel hates her. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good point. She does flirt with him a lot. They def have chemistry. It's negative. It's definitely giving Vanitas and Repliku a little bit. They would be their own worst enemies and best friends. If Axel was into that, of course. Which we know he isn't, based on our previous statement. But it's like anti-chemistry. Like chemistry is the study of change. Like anti-chemistry is the study of like stagnation. They would just be their worst selves all the time. I feel good with this one though. I'll take it. Zexion and Demyx. Or Ienzo and Demyx. Do they even have a conversation? Do they look at each other? I think they stand next to each other in Days in front of the big heart. Yeah, they do in 3. They do. I forgot. I'm so sorry. Is it a positive interaction? Is it negative? I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not omniscient. I forget things sometimes. I think positive. Okay, so like here, get off of Luxord and Zaldin here. I mean, okay. Again, this is. I mean, I feel not negative, and I don't feel not positive. I just feel kind of neutral. I feel like these are just two pretty boys. You know, that's fine. But like, I don't see anything in canon. Or, yeah, Dad's a fun guy. Bring him out of the shell kind of ship. I can see that. Yeah, they're definitely like going to clubs together. He's just trying to read his book, and Demyx's like, "Come on, come dance." Fluffy Fanon. I agree. Fluffy Fanon. I can see his connection. Xemnas and Sayax. Canon toxic, 100%, right? Sayax is like down for his boy. They are two peas in a pod. Sayax is down so bad. He's down so bad for Xemnas, and Xemnas could not care, which I think Sayax likes because it reminds him of Axel. He likes that he has to work hard for it. You know what I mean? I think that we're all in agreement here, though. That's where they belong. Xemnas and Aqua. Are we counting the Terra aspect of it? Hear me out. There's a Terra aspect to this. There is a relationship based on his previous self with Aqua. But as always, I'll always hear you out, Nero. You just gotta let me know what you think. More Yeti time. Also, Zen is actively looking for her. He has armor in a weird chamber that he does do that weird staring thing. He does do that weird staring thing. He does. It's like it's the former life ship kind of thing. Yeah, because there's this, like you said, there's this strange connection between him knowing the armor belongs to someone important to him, but just cannot recall who it is. So he's just like scraping by, trying to figure out anything he could remember to like make him feel something. Because he obviously kept it because it meant something to him, but he doesn't know why. It's kind of tragic, you know. They also should have had her like Gargano armor, and Zenith using the armor KS3. Dude, they should have. He could have seen her in the armor. That would have been a great send off to that plot point. That would have been a great send off. There's definitely some canon stuff going on here. I feel like we're gonna go a bit more canon toxic. Because Xemnas is definitely interested in her, and it's shown in canon that he is. A bit more canon than these two, but definitely less canon than like him and Sayax for sure. Ericus and Xehanort. Canon toxic, 100%, right? Is it an argument? It's literally they were roommates, and they were evil. This shit is so canon, dude. This shit is so canon. It's blowing up there with Xemnas and Sayax, dude. They are, dude. They're two sides of an evil coin, you know. God, I want to move them a little bit just to make sure we can still kind of see the team here. But like the energy is still there. I think they're a bit more positive than these two, just a little bit, because they have a longer history together. They have years of history together, you know. But hella toxic, 100%. He orchestrates his death, and for that we call it toxic. Okay. All right, this is Ventus and Vanitas. Right? It's super canon, right? He's like obsessed with them. His entire mission is to make his life hell, and he spends the majority of BBS just absolutely destroying this poor kid's self-esteem and his self-worth. Canon toxic, 100%. I feel like there's a lot of emotional complexity to this, but it's super toxic. Because like Vanitas is part of Ventus, and there's this whole dynamic between them kind of becoming one again, which can have some like interesting writing undertones if you want to lean in that direction. They're literally the other half of each other, you know? I don't think it leads directly into being extremely toxic like this crew, but it's definitely not healthy, you know? But then again, the complexities of the heart are something we are still learning 22 years into this game series. So, maybe Missing Link would have helped it. R.I.P. Vanitas and Xion. Shame Corner. He's gonna... I guess you could say we're missing that link. Shame Corner, Nira. He's gonna bully the shit out of this poor girl who's just trying to survive. Shame Corner. Dude, what we're learning is Vanitas is probably the most toxic partner in this whole game. He's offering nothing. He's taking... Oh, man. Okay, Terra, and Ventus. And I support him for that. I also support him for that. He's work. He has a lot going on. It's a lot going on. Terra and Ventus. Okay. Toxic. Oh, toxic. Oh. Peony, let me hear it. Ventus wants so bad to get Terra's approval. That's very true. He's constantly putting himself out there for Terra to notice him. He's literally noticed me, senpai. You know what I mean? Just constantly. He wants to be seen. He wants to be noticed. He wants Terra to acknowledge him. Terra also probably just keeps treating him like a kid. Yeah, that's true. There's definitely like a big brother dynamic here where Ventus wants to like show that he's capable and like earning his place here. But then again, it's also up to us to see how that works out. So I definitely say it's canon. There's definitely a lot of stuff that could be done here, and it could be very fluffy, you know? They have a good relationship. I'd put it in the middle ground. Oh, you think it's like middle ground? Kind of like in the middle between toxic and fluffy. They're just kind of there. What do you think, Nara? I'm down with that. Okay, that feels fair. We have... Let's get them over a little bit so we can still see them. The boys. Alright. Terra and Vanitas. Shame corner. He's trying to kill him, right? And that's their only interaction. Bad boy corner. Dude, the Vanitas corner. Hella shame. Hella shame. Terra and Aqua. Canon. A lot of good interactions. They look out for each other. They're friends. I'd say less so than Ven. I feel like the Ven-Terra connection is much stronger than Terra and Aqua. Surely because Terra and Aqua have a bit more of a competitiveness. Because they're both trying to be masters. Aqua succeeds. Terra doesn't. And that causes a whole rift in their relationship. That kind of causes the fissures that lead into the end game of BBS, with them not really wanting to lean in and like hear out the other side. But they definitely have a shared relationship. They've been training together for a time, and they were together for a time. Oh yeah, you right. I'm just here to offer some thoughts. You know, I feel like it's fair. I feel like it's good. You feel a way, Nira? You got an idea? My gut reaction is more fluffy, but BBS has them literally butting heads the whole time. You know what? They do have that really sweet moment in KH3 where he like, you literally brought me back to light. So let's lean into that a little bit. Because we're taking in the entirety, you know what I mean? So I definitely feel like there's leans into more fluffy than we think. I'll even bring Venice over here a little bit. They do have a sweet moment where they all come back and it's all happy and joy, you know? I agree, though. I definitely feel... I see where you're coming from, and I respect it. Yeah, like, they're constantly at odds and they're supposed to be BFFs. That's something that happens in Birth by Sleep. They definitely have them, like, button heads a lot. And it's to the purpose to, like, lead into the whole, okay, like, this is where we're at. with this story. Roxas and Sora. I say pretty canon. As Peony knows, we're playing through KH3, and it seems like Sora's entire mission right now is to bring Roxas back. Slightly toxic. Explain. I'd like to hear that. They do fight a lot. In Roxas, I think there's some, like, definitely some resentment. You know? Sora being the other. Cage specifically, Sora wants nothing but good for him, but I think Roxas has a lot to get over regarding Sora taking his body. That's very true. I do think there is a lot to be explained and shared and talked about. That's a good point. I think there's a lot of resentment on Roxas' side, I think. There's a lot to go through and talk about. I say slightly toxic, but fairly canon. I agree. Okay. Alright. Sora Riku. Roxas' autonomy is important to him, so I feel like Sora's is complicated. It's super complicated. I agree. Sora Riku canon. Are we sure? Canon Fluffy. It's not even an argument. I can't even pretend. Right? The series is built on these two's relationship with one another. And if I need to even explain it, there's a 6-hour Why Riku is Gay and That Matters video. 6 hours of someone going through the games and explaining the perspective of that relationship and Riku's engagement with Sora. Like, is it even a contest? It's super fluffy. They're best friends. They've known each other for years. They have each other's backs, and they continue to go at odds against grain, against nature, against time itself to be with each other. Easy. Easy canon. Easy fluffy. Riku is 100% gay, and that's where we're at. Peony. How do we feel? Accurate. Let's drop some Rikus in the chat. There we go. Sora and Ventus. I like the Riku no. Look at that face. That's the face of a champion. Sora and Ventus. Yeah, Hatsune Riku. Yeah. Ventus kind of chills with Sora for a long time. They hang out. They're buddies. You know, they share the Heart apartment. You know, the Heart Hotel. But like, is it active like engagement? You know what I mean? Because like, they have a conversation, but it's like a young Sora and a young Roxas and a Roxas who's about to die. That's their connection. And then Ventus comes back and it's like, we gotta fight this war, Sora. And Sora's like, got it. And they never talk again. So, I feel like it's fairly Fanon. And I think it's pretty fluffy. They're both good boys. They're both good boys, you know? They don't hurt nobody except for all the people Sora kills. And they're both nice. Fluffy Fanon, yeah. It's almost like having these characters is a detriment to their development. Man, we should do a elimination chamber style. Who gets the axe come cage for who's coming back and who is staying home. You know what I mean? But yeah, Fluffy, Fanon, they're sweet boys. They want to try. Sora Vanitas. Shame corner? Is this a question? I feel like whereas like Aqua and Namine and Kairi would like have some kind of engagement with him, I feel like Sora would just annoy Vanitas. And there's the whole they look exactly like each other. Like you could make the argument that like Sora and Roxas kind of look similar, but like come on, Vanitas and Sora are literally mirror images, and that's a little strange. And I don't think Sora's down for that sickness. You know what I mean? I think Vanitas is. Vanitas, I think, is a little freaky fuck, but I don't think he's down for that, Sora-wise. Shane Cornerback a little more Canon and Fluffy, but definitely in that corner. Vanitas do be freaking it. He do. Man, I'm gonna put him right here. Probably the same level of Fanon and toxicity as Naminé and Malursha, but way more closer to Fluffy, which is not saying a lot. Xehanort and Sora. So Fluffy, Fanon, right? Xehanort and Sora. I feel like they have a lot of chemistry. I feel like they have a lot of mirror imaging going on. They both have a lot of connections to Heart. And I feel like, you know, if we were to just explore that aspect of their relationship, we can really see the positives Xehanort has. You know what I mean? Not in the ways that like he could see with Ericus, but like, you know, maybe Sora brings out a better part of him and makes him want to be a better man. Have you thought about this? Do we want to contemplate this for a minute? Think about it. Sora is sitting at the dance alone, and across the hall, prom. It's prom night. Everyone's dancing but Sora. And off the fluorescent lighting, a bald head shines, and it's Xehanort, and it's like, oh my god, you came. He's like, I was always gonna come here, and it's disgusting and horrible, and it's in the shame corner. Stranger out here with the propaganda, dude. I go to bat, you know, go to bat for the ones you know will lose. It's more fun that way. Sora Naminé. I say Canon Fluffy. Absolutely. I feel there's a more solid connection as opposed to Roxas and Naminé. Whereas they have a couple of moments, Sora and Naminé have a whole game talking to each other and working together. And then part of like Sora's mission in KH2 is to like kind of remember what Naminé did for them and acknowledging that and wanting to thank her. And then that's kind of a back burner mission for sure, but it's in the works of like saying thank you to her, you know. And then she comes back, and I imagine there's gonna be a lot of conversations we had with Naminé about with him. So that's where I'm at. Hot take: Nam has more game chemistry, and yes, she does, and I will not apologize. Naminé has way more in-game chemistry than Sora does with Kairi. And I will go to bat with anyone who wants to go otherwise. Because we got... Speaking of, we got Kairi Sora. Sadly, Sora and Kairi's chemistry is... It's obviously Canon Fluffy. It's Canon Fluffy. But like, I'm gonna put it like right here. It's a little less obvious. It's the empty calories. It's the Diet Coke of relationships. It's the wet head of lettuce. You know, it's iceberg lettuce in a salad. It's lukewarm water. It's not feeding anybody, you know? But Kairi ain't no Akira, I'm just saying. White bread. Yeah. White bread makes a sandwich. White bread makes a sandwich. But dude, get a white bread and slap a little bit of butter on it. Ain't no better snack. Store brand potato chips. It's not even like Lay's. It's like the store brand. Like it's the Lucky's brand potato chip, and it's like potato chip, and it's like a blue bag, white lettering, and it's a really bad Photoshop image of the chip on the face. On the back, there's not even like a little fun story. It's just straight everything. It's $1.30 for sure, and it's $2 if you buy a water bottle with it at the check stand. You know what I mean? It's not gonna like fulfill you, but it will definitely get you through lunch until you're ready for dinner, and dinner obviously being like the Vex and Marluxia fan fiction, and the store brand water just says water 100%. You know, Peony. You know. Roxas and Hayner. Roxas and Hayner. Hayner spends a good amount of time wanting to Canon Fluffy. Yeah, he spends a lot of time wanting to see Roxas and get to know him. I mean, he's really enamored with the idea. If Canon Fluffy, fight me. Nira, I don't want to fight you. You will kick my ass 100%. You will go to bat for a lot of things. Roxas Vanitas. It's a bit toxic because of Hayner's attitude, but it's definitely more on the fluffy side. Let's go here. Actually, no, let's go like right here. Between the wayfinders. A little less Canon, a little less fluffy. But that's okay. I die on a lot of hills. Oh my god. Vanitas and Roxas. It'll go into shame corner, but let's talk about the hypotheticals really quick. What is the meal here? What are we biting into? Reflections. We're biting into people who were created without purpose and without thought. Roxas would fight Vanitas 24/7. Yeah, they would be at each other's throats 100%. I can't imagine them being in a... It's always constant fighting. I can't imagine them being in like a positive relationship with one another. Shame corner. Vanitas is obsessed with Ventus, and Roxas is so focused on being his own person. That's also true. Vanitas would like do like some mental fuckery and make like Roxas like his perfect version of Ventus, which is super fucked up, and would be a really interesting fanfic to read. It'd be something like My Dark Reflection or something like that. And that works on both levels. Anyways. Roxas and Shion. It's fluffy canon. Yeah. It is fluffy canon. I say it's another Hell of Dion. I think it's very fluffy. They are best friends. They are best friends, you know? They're there for each other. They're there to support one another. They're there to help each other out. They're there... They give each other seashells when the other one's sick, and that's really cute. Super fluffy. Honestly, I might put that, like, right fucking here. I think it's just short of it being, like, obscenely canon. You know what I mean? They spend an entire game watching each other's backs and like hanging out with each other. Hard agree. Thank you. I agree as well. I agree with myself. That death scene, dude. Who will he eat ice cream with? That's his idea of friendship. And being a person is spending time with someone you care about. And he can't imagine having ice cream with anybody else. And then in case 3, he comes back. The first thing he does, save her. That's the first thing he does. He comes back and saves her. I think I need to get to that part again, but I do remember that being something very poignant when I first played the game. Was like, oh shit, he's here. He's here for her. Okay. Last one, gang. Last one. Axel and Demix. Kills me. I feel like these two would be a toxic, wily pair. They're gonna like. It gives like those two dudes ending with a banger though. Yeah. They give off like two dudes in like a garage band who are like the worst dudes, you know, but they also are like really cool with each other. Do they interact? Wait, do they interact? They're slackers together. Oh yeah. If they go on missions, they're ditching. In Days vaguely. I think they share a room in Days. And I think they talk about each other. Like I think Axel definitely says some things about Demix, and I think Demix maybe has a few words about Axel, but they were roommates. Ugh, there's so many roommates here. But yeah, it's great. I think this is a good one to end on. I think this leans a bit more towards like maybe Canon, because they're co-workers, they're friends. Maybe not. No, are they even friends? They're roommates. They're co-workers, so maybe more Fanon. I don't know. I feel like Axel would have more patience with Demix than we would think. He's definitely like he has like a threshold. I don't know. I kind of want to like I want to clean up this shame corner really quick. Oh, man, maybe move these guys around a little bit. Okay. All right, we need a. Okay, we need a fucking. All right. Fuck. Okay. Let's settle Demix and Axel first. Vaguely toxic, kinda Fanon. Are we cool with that? Yep. Okay. I will agree. All right. So here's the deal. We got to make this thing look kind of legible. So we got to play some moving around here. Because I want the shame corner to be shown in its full glory. So we have to do some number crunching of all of our Vanitas choices, and Riku and Xehanort and Sora. What is the most toxic? Axel and Xion. What is the most toxic? What do we think? It's so hard. It's obscenely hard. Sora and Xehanort, Xeon and Def in the bad corner. Bad Borner. The Bad Borner. Okay, so let's do some process of elimination. Repliku and Vanitas are bad. Aqua and Vanitas are bad. Zexion and Axel are not as bad. Typo in the group chat. Marluxia and Naminé are bad, but they're gonna stay up here. But what is the worst? I'll wear my dunce hat with that pride. I feel like Sora and Xehanort are probably our hardest contender. Right up there with Axel and Xion. I think of those options, Sora and Xehanort. So we're agreeing Sora and Xehanort's going to be the worst. Thank you, Marcy. Sora and Xehanort are the worst at the moment. Axel and Xion second? Okay. Naminé can fix Xion. Naminé can fix Vanitas. We'll move her down a little bit. We'll go up here. Okay. Alright. So, what's slightly less Fanon? Repliku and Vanitas third? Yeah. I say let's switch these guys up. Because, like, Axel and Shion have a better chemistry than these two? And it's less reliant on us being willing to engage in the Fanon, you know what I mean? There's more structure to their engagement. The Baron of Flamin... Dude, Fluffy Fanon is so barren. It's rough. Axel and Shion have more Canon on their side. So should we raise them up? Let's put them up here. I think there's definitely more... Wait. They have a lot more chemistry. They just are bad for each other. Are Axel and Shion canon? They have a lot of interactions that they're just negative. Getting down to the wire here. Put them higher than Malusha and Nami, would definitely keep them toxic, I think. I agree. We'll keep them toxic. Okay, so let's move these around a little bit. Vanitas and Roxas, they definitely are toxic. I could argue that Vanitas and Naminé are more fluffy than toxic, but that's my I can fix a mentality leading them to that. That's Mercy, that's totally valid. Totally valid. Should we lean more into I can fix a mentality to clear up the toxic Fanon? Should we do that? Cause we gotta. This is harvest. This is a harvest we need to get rid of. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So let's define Fluffy Fanon really quick. So the pinnacle Fluffy Fanon is it's 100% Fanon, but it's also 100% Fluffy. So that I think this is our best bet. This is our best ground zero for that. They are nice boys. They don't want to hurt anybody. They are here to just take care of each other, and it's fine. That's our base level, right? Are we all in agreement? This is like Mercy. Yeah, it's okay. Don't apologize for barging in. We want you to be here. We're kind of just clearing up the board right now because we just realized how much toxic Vanitas art there is. Be here. We are excited to have you here. You can help us decide some final things really quick. Okay. Here's what I think. I'm going to go take a quick siesta. And what I will do is I will let you guys look at this board and we will come back in a second. Let me just figure out how to mute my mic really quick. Okay, cannot mute my mic. So, okay, I will just go to settings. Add it with a brand new track. Squints. Is that Zigbar, Lushu, and Canon Toxic I see? Yes. Yes, it is. Alright, so we did a lot of ships. We did all 50. All of them are done. Now we're just doing a little cleanup because a lot of them are overlapping and we need to figure out what needs to be settled. We got a lot done. So, here's what we need to do. We need to start... But Stranger... What about Pence and Enzo? Peony, I fought tooth and nail to get them in here. But there's not enough. It went by numbers 5 years ago. I couldn't do anything. What about Cypher and Hayner? I went off of the 2020 consensus of the ships. Dude, I would expect to see Cypher and Hayner way more. I would see fucking Luxord and Zaldin. who I've had to remember his name just now. The pain in the stranger's voice. Dude, I'm trying so hard to not crash out. Because where is Pence and Ienzo? Where is Cypher and Hayner? God. Where's Axel and Marluxia? Where's Pinocchio and Shion? Puppet action. Like what? Where? Who made this list? Tier Maker did. But I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help sort it out. I'm the middleman. Stop. No. Not the puppet action. Yes, the puppet action. Yes, the puppet action. I'm wheezing. Riku, no. Riku, yes. He has some unfinished business with this puppet. Oh, man. Where's Geppetto? And, like, fucking Sid. Where are my makers at? Where's Sid and Merlin? Where's anyone? But no. We get the milk toast, Sora and Kairi. Where's Yen Sid in the chair? Where's Yen Sid and doing nothing? Yen Sid doesn't care about Keyblade wielders. Ansem and ice cream. Where's Sora and forgetting things? Alright. So most toxic, we agree, is Xehanort and Sora. These two are cool. I think... God, this is still kind of Fanon-ish. There's no way these two are interacting. Okay. I'm starting to feel a little bit better about this as I'm raging it. It's kind of making me... It's forcing me to, like, figure some shit out. Still, fuck, this is super toxic, though. It's gonna get the wrong idea. I think Shion and Vanitas are super toxic and Fanon, but we don't have enough space in the corner. In the shame corner that is Vanitas' failed relationships. We can fix them, stranger. We can't fix Vanitas. So many people have tried. So many people have tried. But we're going in with the fluffy mentality now. So we got to start clearing the board. So nominating Vanitas. Vanitas does not want to be fixed, dude. Vanitas is a hound dog. He wants to go roaming the streets and bark at like random cars. He wants to bite kids in the park. He wants to go like steal meat out of a deli. He wants to go smoke cigars and play cards. This analogy lost its track. Fanon, kind of fluffy. Fanon, kind of fluffy. Fanon, kind of fluffy. This is a pretty good order. I think. Okay. More toxic. Still kind of Fanon. Kind of toxic. Okay. Alright. We're getting somewhere. We gotta deal with this mega cluster in the corner, though. This feels fair. This feels right. Okay. Okay. Things are moving around. We know where they're supposed to be, but we're making them work. Okay. Move these guys a little bit over to the left. And here. Okay. This feels like this is the deal. This is the last play, I think. How do we all feel about this? This feels fine. Is there anyone we want to make arguments for before we set this in stone? Marcy, I know you missed a little bit of it, but I'm so glad that you showed up here. You can give your thoughts. You can give your thoughts. Let's go through a practice round. Not a practice round, a final round to catch Marcy up to speed. So, let's start with let's go diagonal. We're gonna go down the slope. We're gonna go from Canon Fluffy all the way down to toxic Fanon. So we'll start up in the corner, at the top of the hill. It's Riku, it's Sora. It's not up for debate. Do you agree, Marcy? We all are kind of in agreement. Like, this is the ship. You know what I mean? This is the corner. Which one do we want to talk about the most? I want to hear the takes. Which one did we talk about the most? Which one did we have the most debates about? Let me scroll up really quick. We had a lot of talk about. Chat, pause, do the scroll. They're the strongest for sure. We talked the most about. Let's see. Let's go through the ones we did not talk about. We did not talk about Lexus and Zexion that much. We didn't talk about these two. We didn't talk about these two. Not these two. Not these two. Not these. You made an argument for Namine and Xion that brought him all the way over here, Nira, and I appreciate you for that. We didn't talk about these two because I have no anything about Union Cross. You brought up some. Just do them apart, and we salute you. Salute? Is there a salute button? There's no salute button, but just know I'm saluting you right now. Hainer and Olette, we had a little conversation about the Wayfinder trio we did. We talked a little bit about. We didn't talk at all about Sora and Ventus doing anything. We had a lot to say about the shame corner that is Vanitas' relationships. We didn't really talk about Lucio and Zigbar and the Master because we don't really know a lot about their story yet. We just know it's toxic. We know it's negative. We don't know how far or how much. Ventus, the grandpa. Dude, Ventus is like 600 years old? He's definitely robbing the cradle here with Sora. Or he's Laura Crofting that fucking gravesite that is Ventus. One of the two. We didn't talk a lot about Luxord or Zoldan because there's nothing to talk about. Or Namine or Kairi. That was just fine. We did a conversation about Ventus and Kairi. I think... No, we did Namine first because we made the we can fix them mentality, and plus it gave us a lot of ideas of what these two could be like. These two had a little bit of convo. We went a little bit in depth with Riku and Xion. We talked about their relationship and their engagement with each other and how it's kind of negative. They both just want to get their needs met. Who else do we talk about? Roxas and Namine felt like kind of a natural progression. They have a lot of shared interests and a lot of shared investments in the story. Along with Repliku and Namine, which is, he was made to be obsessive. It's based on them missing other people. It is. See, that's where we're at. This is what the game's about. It's about them being here. Missing people. Working together. As far as toxicity in canon goes, the easy layup was Saïx and Xemnas. These two are a bad batch of apples. These two are ruining the whole barrel. And diagonal from them is Ericus and Xehanort. There's a lot more history between those two, but the sheer negative chemistry between these two is unmatched in the series. You have Saïx and Axel, which has its own can of beans. There's a lot going on there with their history and double-crossing people and the negativity. And Ventus and Vanitas are very negative in their own piece. But yeah, this is our chart. I feel like it's pretty accurate to what we talked about, and it feels pretty good. All right. This is cool. All right. So, any last-minute thoughts, any last-minute questions before I call it? And we end the tier maker, I save it, and we share it with the Discord so everyone knows what we spent the last 2 hours doing. See all the work we did. This is looking good. Thank you, Peony. I think it looks good too. And I appreciate you and Nira really hearing me out and listening to me and listening to me ramble on and talk about this. It's really nice to have people who are invested in these relationships with these people and then talking about the possibilities and the actuality. It was fun, and I appreciate that. All right, so I feel like we're pretty good. Marcy, do you have anything else you'd like to add? Anything you'd like to say? Any questions? be happy to answer them. I think we put more thought into these than Square did. We spent way more thought on these than Square did. Absolutely we did. And I appreciate you both listening to me ramble and go on about this. So, I'm saying we're going to lock it in. We're going to save. We're going to download this image. There we go. You guys are immortalized in a very, very fun activity. So, thank you so much for sitting here and talking. So, what I'll be doing now is I will be doing a little bit of KH3. I'll only play for a little bit. It's getting a little late over here. But if you guys would like to sit in and watch me play, that'd be great. We're halfway through Corona right now. So, that's going to be fun. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll be doing a little switchover, and I will be back in a minute so I can get everything all set up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting here. If you're willing to wait a little bit more and wait for me to get started with KH3, that'd be great. I'll give you about 5 or 10 minutes for us to stretch, water, all that important stuff. But thank you so much, and we will be back momentarily. Thank you.